a new beach.
Yeah.
It's called Opal Beach. It's a beautiful beach, but it literally was created by the process that's behind you, and they left it that way. And now it's a gorgeous beach that you can go check out in the National Seashore. I would imagine in this scenario, they have to rebuild these dunes because this is a tourist spot. It's not just an open beach with nothing around it.
Yeah, in a sense, Britta, barrier islands like the one we're standing on, they're giant sandbars, and sand moves when you have giant weather events, exactly like you're describing. There's a little bit of extra sting here because sand's not cheap, and moving sand isn't cheap. Pass-A-Grille was right near the end. They may have just been finishing. It was multi-million bucks, a beach replenishment, and then this happens, and it completely changes and, in a sense, removes all the work that had been done, and the work begins. And there it is. It's happening right behind me.
It's frustrating and heartbreaking. Ian, stay with us. We'll check in with you in just a moment, as it's been a long, exhausting day for residents in the Tampa Bay area and on St. Pete's Beach. It's really the time to clean up. We're going to get to rebuild, but a lot of people are in this raw spot where in some communities they're trying to get water out of their homes, they're trying to get muck, debris, and in other locations we've been left with this, nothing left but a roof line. Fox News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pingram has a little bit of insight to how this could be a problem, especially when it comes to response dollars.
FEMA begins providing food and water to those in need immediately. The good news is that FEMA has enough money to help, but barely.
I think everybody's aware that we went into immediate needs funding as our disaster relief fund. The funding was running low. We have absolutely enough resources to continue to support the life-saving response that we need to for this event.
Congress awarded FEMA the power to spend money on disaster relief supplies in the latest spending bill. But as the disasters keep coming, bipartisan lawmakers believe Congress should not have recessed until after the election, until it fully bolstered FEMA's coffers.
I think it's very risky to leave town without funding disaster aid. As we see hurricanes bearing down on the east coast of the United States, we know it is only going to get worse through the hurricane season.
It's not just recovery from Helene. Texas is still struggling after Hurricane Beryl in July. Iowa needs help following tornadoes. Schatz' home state of Hawaii continues to suffer after wildfires charred the island of Maui.
Now it's time to rebuild, and of the 2,000 structures that have been destroyed, we've only got about 150 that are even beginning to be rebuilt.
Lawmakers are bracing for the price tag from Helene.
I think this will be one of the worst storms that they've experienced, especially in terms of storm surge.
That's why there will be a push for
Are we truly done? The end of hurricane season is still not here. We have to get all the way through October, which is the third biggest hit when it comes to the hurricane season, breaking it down per month. We have systems of note that have happened in the month of October. Think about Hurricane Michael back in 2018, the last Cat 5 to hit our country. We could have something brewing out there. I don't bring this up to cause hysteria or make anybody nervous, but Ian, you know people are talking about it, and the last thing I want is for people that are in a really raw position to worry about something, to feel like something's not being discussed. So here it is. There is a spot that we're watching. It's not something to worry about right now. We got to deal with what's on our plate, but something as meteorologists we can track, take the worry away from people, and it is what it is. There is a potential for development for next week.
It's where we were a couple of weeks back. I mean, it's completely unreasonable to say what that thing that hasn't developed yet will turn into or where it's going to go. But it's completely reasonable, especially in places that are vulnerable right now, to say, among many things that you're dealing with, heads up, keep an eye on this. We'll watch it. The set of meteorological circumstances are a little bit similar, but all things aren't equal. So it's just something that we'll be watching on Fox Weather in the days, the week plus ahead.
Exactly. Priority number one is get through what we're getting through. We still have active flash flood emergencies in the state of North Carolina. We're still looking for people in North Carolina. So we have to get past this first. Let the professionals, us meteorologists, keep tabs on this, and we'll let you know when you need to really, get on top of it. For right now, the most important thing is to stay engaged in the conversation, because we will show you the update, we'll show you the forecast, we'll keep you engaged in that conversation, but let us hold the heavy heavy heart on it, and then we'll continue to just bring it up so you're aware, and we'll move forward from there. But it's tough.
You don't love the look of it, though, Britta.
Yeah. I mean,
the probability of at least something finding its way toward the Yucatan, maybe into the southwestern part of the Gulf, the Bay of Campeche.
It is important to communicate the timeline. This is going to be something for next week, so it's not something that you can kind of ignore forever, but it's something that we're going to be watching, and we'll keep everybody updated on the conversation as we get closer. Ian, as we
Britta,
take a look
I do want to say...
Yeah, go ahead.
Couple of people that I talked to, which messaging is always, it's something we talk about in the lead up to every season. What's the best way to clearly get the message out? So much so that the government, the National Hurricane Center, they've done all kinds of social science to try to get that figured out. They made the changes to the cone this year, putting the bulletins on there. A couple of people have said to me, you know, this got a name kind of late. And we didn't have as much time because of that. And that kind of stuck with me in the sense that this was another potential tropical cyclone. Folks are saying, what's that? Yeah, it's a potential threat. Brian Norcross always says that might be the way to go, just to start calling things potential threat in a name and go from there.
It's an important conversation to have, and one that we should keep bringing up, Ian.